Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little bit, but here I am. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave comments, turn on the notifications so you can see every time I upload. Today, I'm gonna be talking about how I got my start in my career. That is the #1 question I'm always asked whenever I do panels or give talks, inspirational speeches, whenever I guest appear in a college classroom. Everyone wants to know, how did it all begin? Buckle up, here we go. You know when you put the ice cream in the microwave to thaw it out a little bit, but then you put it for too long? This is 30 seconds of melted ice cream. This story begins when I was in my mother's womb. Not really, but yes, I've always known that I wanted to be an entertainer. I loved being in front of the camera. I loved being on a stage. I really enjoyed performing, and it was something that really made me feel alive. At one point in my life, I thought I wanted to be an actor or a theater actor, but hello, I can't really sing. So my parents were like, nah. Also, I grew up here in Los Angeles, and my parents were like, you're not going to be waiting on tables until lightning strikes and you become a full-blown actress. So I really enjoyed giving the news at school. I liked giving the news report for whatever broadcast program there was from elementary to middle school to high school. And so my dad suggested I study broadcast journalism. So I studied broadcast journalism and television at Chapman University. It was part of the Dodge College program, and that was the film school, and it's a pretty prestigious elite film school. It's pretty competitive and tough to get into, so I'm super blessed and grateful that I got into it, and I knew from day one I was going to be studying broadcast. I had an emphasis in documentary and in news, which gave me the ability to be in front of the camera, to be a reporter, and then also behind the scenes, behind the camera. I would produce, shoot, help edit, all of these things, different documentaries that took me all over the world, and it was really awesome. I actually went to Africa and Singapore to do documentaries. Singapore, key destination. It was Singapore that changed my life. I went there to do a documentary during interterm, which was our winter course, and it was an integrated experience where Chapman US students were integrated with Chapman Singapore students. And a lot of my friends that I had met there asked, what do you want to do with your career? What do you want to do with your life after graduation? This is just getting worse and worse as time goes on. And I'm telling them, I want to be a host. I want to be a reporter. At the time, I'm applying to local news stations in the US, Billings, Montana, small local stations, because that's what you do. You go to a smaller city, learn how to cut your teeth, learn the craft, how to be a cameraman, how to be a producer, how to be an editor, how to be everything that this job entails. A lot of people told me, there are a lot of hosts that look like you, that are Pan-Asian, you're Asian, in Singapore. This is the base. So I learned that Singapore is the hub of English-speaking television within the Southeast Asia market. They have networks such as HBO, Fox, NBC, they have it all. They have Sony AXN, TLC, Food Network, and it's all catered to the Southeast Asian market. So I'm like, whoa, I think I want to go to Asia. I come back home from that documentary trip, and I have 4 months left of school until I graduate. And I'm telling my parents I want to go to Singapore, and they're like, no, you're not going to move to a country 9,000 miles away. Absolutely not. So I research all of the hosts in Singapore, and I find this guy, Ollie Pettigrew, and he is a part of a group called The Collective. So I email The Collective, which is a group of hosts that promote each other. They cut their own deals. They don't work with the agents in Singapore because the agents in Singapore aren't the greatest to work with. They could have improved in the last 6 years, but when I was there, not so great. Anyway, I email The Collective and I say, look, this might be a long shot, but I want to move to Singapore. I am a host. I'm trained professionally. Here's my reel, here's my portfolio, my headshots, my erinlim.com. I get an email back saying, hey Erin, and when I get this email back, it is my graduation day. I am sitting there waiting for my name to get called to walk across the stage. The speech is going. So I'm sitting there and I get an email that says, Ollie Pettigrew will be in Los Angeles this week. Can you meet up with him? I reply during graduation saying, absolutely yes, let me take him to lunch. We go to lunch and Ollie basically just tells it to me straight. He's like, you have skills. I see that you're driven and you're passionate about this. I see something in you. You're really good. I think you just need to move to Singapore, allot yourself a certain amount of time with a budget, and see if you make it or break it. I gotta think back like 6 years. How did this all pan out? So Ollie convinces me I need to move to Singapore. Next step, I email everyone I've ever met in Singapore. People I don't even know. Agents, producers, directors, friends of friends, people I found on the internet, and I just say, this might be a long shot. That's the header of the email. And then in the body of the email, hi, this is me. I want to be a host. Here's my reel, my email, my portfolio, my headshots, all of the things. People reply saying, great, when can we take a meeting? Great to be in contact with you. So then I suggest, let's take a Skype meeting because I'm in Los Angeles at this point and they're all the way in Singapore. They say, yeah, let us know when you can take a meeting in person. So then after I graduate, I go and take a business meeting to Singapore to see if this is even a viable move. My parents come with me because of course they needed to do their own location recon and scouting and make sure this is a safe place for their baby girl. I go, I take these meetings, smashed them, gave people business cards, everyone's impressed, they're stoked, they're really looking forward to working with me. Then they ask, so when are you moving here? And then I say, you're gonna give me the job first and the employment pass and the visa and all those things, and then I get to come here. And they said, no, let us know when you move here. So, I had to make a decision. Do I take the graduation money and the $500 cash that I have in my pocket and move to Singapore without any family and friends out there? Yes, exactly. That is what I did. I packed up all my bags, I moved to Singapore, and I lived off of that $500 cash for the first month of being there. This soupy ice cream is not so bad. So I'm in Singapore. I land a sitcom. That was my first gig. My worst work, maybe not my worst, but not my best.
I did not come here as foreign talent to clean up after you lazy chauvinist types.
I did not go out there for acting, but a director saw me in a coffee shop and said, do you act? And I said, kind of as a hobby in high school and college and whatever. And he said, cool, we're looking for our ambiguous character and that's you. So that's me, the only American in a Singaporean sitcom, all English speaking. Really fun experience. Like I said, not my best work, not gonna give you the name of the show. After doing the show, I got a lot of press. I was in magazines, I was in newspapers, articles were being written. It was really cool. Then I get an email from a Asia producer who says, this might sound really creepy, but I saw you in a newspaper, I read this article, and then I went to your website and I saw that you're a broadcaster and you're professionally trained. When can you take a meeting? And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is Asia. Before I even moved to Singapore, I was watching Asia, seeing the hosts and telling myself, this is exactly where I wanna be. I can see myself doing this. Asia is the destination. So I'm like, yes, manifested this. I go in for the meeting, did a casting. They were like, yes, great, let's work with each other. But that took like months to work out. Like it was months of like, will I or will I not work for Asia? In the meantime, I am doing modeling campaigns, not a model. I am acting in commercials, never done that before. I am hosting a myriad of different shows, a tech show, a dating show, travel shows, kid shows, all the things in between. And then eventually I get to work at Asia. I get the call and they say, you know what? Because you are trained to be a producer and a writer and a journalist and everything, you're gonna be all those things. You're gonna be an associate producer to Stephen Gilfeather. Stephen, love you. You're the man. You put me on the map in Asia. Thank you. So I'm an associate producer and it's just me and Steven and we are producing all of this Asia content, and it was heavy-handed in the producing aspect. I'm overseeing budgets, I'm overseeing edits, I am working with numbers, I am rallying other talent for other shows, I'm producing docu-series. I'm doing a lot of things that I didn't really intend to do when I took the job because I thought I was gonna be mostly on camera, but for nearly the first year I was not on camera. I was completely a producer, and that hurt my soul. And after months of doing it, I told Steven, I'm leaving. Like, I see you working with other hosts. You're also looking for other hosts, and hi, I'm right here. This is exactly what I want to do. I am your host. And he's like, yes, but you're also such a great producer. You're my ace, my right-hand woman. And I said, cool, peace out. He's like, hang on, I'm gonna do something about this. He goes into an executive's office. The executive pulled me in and he's like, Erin, this is Asia. It is directly connected to Hollywood. In America, you can be there one day. You need to just hold on and persevere. And you know, we'll work something out for you. We'll send you somewhere. You know what? You're gonna go to the Star Magic Ball in the Philippines and interview all of the Filipino celebrities. I'm like, awesome, I'm gonna do it. He's like, you leave tomorrow. whoa, have no time to prep, whatever. I spent an all-nighter researching all of these Filipino stars. I knew them top to tail, their entire lives. I am Filipino, half, but I do not speak the language. Luckily, most of them spoke some Taglish. So I go and I kill it at this carpet, and all of these Filipino stars are asking me, how do you know my life so well? And I just play it off like, you're the biggest stars in the entire world. Of course I know every detail about your life. My producer was blown away. It's like, wow, we need to send you on some more of these. Leda. So from there, I do a bunch of shoots for eAsia all throughout the region. I'm going to Taiwan, I'm going to Hong Kong, I'm going to Malaysia. I worked at eAsia for about 2 years, and then I go back home for a random trip to visit my family. I'm back in LA and I emailed the E International team. And because I was a producer at eAsia, I had to correspond with them all the time. I was always sending them footage of all of the things that were shot. So I tell the E International team, hey, I'm back in Los Angeles, I'm home. I want to take a tour of the studio in Hollywood. Maybe meet Juliana, Jason, whoever's in town. They're like, yeah, come in. Actually, why don't we shoot an eAsia special direct from Hollywood? And I'm thinking, yes, I just manifested my own eAsia special. So we're like shooting all over town, and then we get to the studio and they're like, you can interview whatever host you want. I wanted to interview Jason Kennedy, one of my favorite hosts. Jason and I meet, and it was like friends at first sight. I'm like, Jason, you need to go to Singapore. I'm gonna stay here. We'll swap places. And he was like, great, yes. Boom, boom, boom. Met Terrence, Kat, the whole gang. It was awesome. Just ruined the lipstick. Little did I know, as I was shooting that interview with Jason, there were these cameras that could see everything being shot in that studio at the same exact time. So if you're in the building and you're tuned into channel 54, which is the studio feed, you can see, oh, they're shooting E-News in the studio. A talent and casting director or an exec was on the live feed, saw me interacting with Jason, saw me doing my reads for eAsia, and said, who's this person? Cut to, I'm back in Singapore a week or 2 weeks later after that eAsia special. I'm just going to work, and then I get an email from a casting director from E, and she says, hey Erin, can you hop on a call? Would love to chat. And it said like talent and casting. I get on a call with her and she said, I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you while you were in LA. We are looking for our next 360 host reporter. And I was like, okay, and? She's like, and we're considering you. Can you get on a telepresence with the E executive staff? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that. I can definitely do that. At this point in my life, I'm 23 years old. Like, yep, cool. Thinking to myself, this is awesome that they even want to have a conversation, that they're even entertaining me. That is a compliment in itself. So if I don't get this gig, completely fine. This was fun anyway. So I get on a telepresence with all of these executives. It's like some huge official conference. There's like 7 of them and one of me, literally just one of me, like, hi. And they're all together and they're asking me all of these questions of why I want to work at E and what's my personality really like, and am I always this bubbly and engaging and passionate about pop culture? Yes. And I had like no followers at the time. Like, how could they know anything about me? Like, they did not hire me based off of followers, let me tell you that. Then a couple days later after that conference meeting, they asked me for my agent's contact. Hold up, I don't have an agent. I've been cutting my own deals in Singapore for the last couple years, okay? I would sometimes have to fake an email to be like, I'm Erin's rep, and negotiate numbers and have those hard, uncomfortable conversations because the agents out there didn't have my best interest. I knew I was the only one who's gonna be able to get the coin that I wanted. So I had a Chapman professor who used to practice entertainment law. He cut my deal for me and I got a contract. And the next thing I know, I'm on a plane back home, and I had moved 9,000 miles away from home to eventually make it back home and work at my dream network. Yeah, wrap your head around that.
From Asia to LA, former E-News Asia host Erin Lim hits the big time.
I still can't wrap my head around it, and it's been 6 years. Some little details that are important to the story. I didn't have my employment pass. I had to basically incorporate my own company in Singapore to employ myself, and I started a production company out there, and every gig I got would pay the production company, and then I'd pay me. And there were a lot of days in Singapore that I didn't work before I got this eAsia job. There were days where I couldn't even get out of bed because I was dealing with maybe mild depression or just, I don't know, culture shock or sadness from being away from home. I was homesick at times. Even though I knew I was out there doing what I loved to do, I knew that my dreams were gonna come at a price. And if you're not willing to pay the price of those dreams, maybe it's just not for you. And one thing that I always tell myself is if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And these dreams still scare me. And my parents always told me that there were enough stars and to always keep reaching and to reach, to never stop. And they never had any doubt that I was ever gonna accomplish what I set out to do. So I think that was also really important because I know that doubt from outside influences in your life can really affect your own trajectory or what you wanna do. So I always was encouraged, and I'm really lucky to come from a family that's fully supported me. Now, they were not in the industry and I didn't have all of the latest and greatest things always, but I really did work for them. So nothing was handed to me on a silver platter. Also, I wanna know, when I was in college, my junior and senior year, I was working as a host while I was a student. I found a job at the local news station and I was a producer, host, editor. I would do all of the local events in the city of Orange. I was the host that would show up at the Orange County Street Fair and talk about food and things that, I don't know, random things, okay? While I was in college, I always treated myself as a professional. I had an erinlim.com, I had a business card, I had a logo, I had headshots uploaded, I had ways that you can access my work. My reel was up there years before I started. And while I was in college, my beat was not entertainment. My beat was not sports. I knew that those things were gonna be a little bit saturated, especially in college broadcast news. I needed to do something different and something that was gonna set me apart, and that thing was video games. I used to be the video game nerd buzz reporter. I would show up to midnight releases of video games at GameStop. I would talk to game developers about the latest and greatest game coming out. I would play games and review them. And I did it with such enthusiasm and with such passion that even people who didn't like video games were engaged. And they said, wow, I actually want to watch this story because you're just like so excited about it. And that is so important. If you are not excited about what you're doing, then do not do it. If this is something that you want to do and you know that you're gonna have 0 views except for maybe your mom and maybe you won't even make money, then this is for you. I knew that there were times where I was doing a gig completely free. I knew that only my mom and my nana was gonna watch, but I still did it because I loved it and I knew that it was gonna add to my portfolio and my body of work and it was gonna help my craft become better. Every time I do this, I'm a little bit better. So my suggestion for you is just turn on the camera and start practicing. When I was in college, I would come up with fake news stories or I would see things in the newspaper that were happening and then I would just go stand in front of a building and say, this is where the fire happened, and or I'd stand in front of the GameStop and say, Call of Duty is coming out tomorrow, look at this line. And no one was gonna see it, but I knew that I was getting the practice by just turning the camera on myself. There are so many times when I set up that tripod and I ran behind this camera like I'm doing now, hit record, and did the damn thing. You can start an entire page about rocks, and if you're just excited about it and if you're educating people, people wanna experience that. I always say that I am a surrogate for the audience. I am experiencing things and hopefully you can feel like you're experiencing it through me. So be a surrogate and do anything, and don't do things that are like so popular that everyone's doing. Like doing this damn YouTube page. I'm scared as heck to do this. I don't want to do it because I know that it's an oversaturated space, but I just want to do it because maybe this message can help people and inspire people. And if you want to know anything else that is a part of my journey, let me know. Comment, ask me, ask away. You have to believe in yourself before anyone else will. And once you take your dreams and your goals seriously, I believe that your creator will then take you seriously and will validate the dreams that he has put in your heart. So don't give up and keep doing it. If you liked this video, make sure you thumbs up it, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications, watch all of the things, follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, and let me know what you guys want to see next. I will fulfill those requests in time after I get through with this soggy ice cream. Okay.